her pregnant.
Yeah, he got her pregnant.
Josephine was found in there. Yeah, he knocked up in the mirror truck. No, I don't know. Man, what is that chick name? She did every I'm watching the episode of the Steve Harvey Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now listening to the Vibe Controllers Podcast. Merc B, Cocky McFly, Fifth Child, we out here.
Paul, Eddie, All right, man, we back up in here. Welcome to episode 23, season 3 of the Vibe Controllers Podcast. Man, we so excited to be back with y'all. We missed y'all. All right, man, I go by the name of Cocky McFly. That guy over there is my brother. That is Merc B. Williams. Say hey to the people, Merc.
Yeah, ho.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's my Juicy J. Big. But we red nigga, we out here.
Anyway, so yeah, man, our special guest today, our brother, our good friend, the leader of back out here.
That's right. What I call it, Blessed Anointed Center.
Hey, man, I received it.
Already,
I
man.
received all of that.
Our homie Fifth Child in the building. Say hey to the people.
Hey to the people.
Man, I live it. Father, that's what I'm talking about. Man, we out here. We gonna be talking about all the great things he has going on with the Briarwood Arts Center. We gonna talk about all these magnificent performances he got coming up, and he gonna drop it. If you out here in the music business and you making beats, you a producer, all that good stuff. He gonna drop some gems for you, man.
Talk about it.
He gonna talk about it. Y'all ain't got to be trying to say these beats, these whack rappers
Facts.
to get heard.
Facts.
I'm big.
Well, people just need to understand that there's another way. Like,
It
it's
is.
just another way.
You can bring your beats here, be played on the Vibe Controllers Podcast.
And you wouldn't know unless people, tell you. So it's like I don't fault, folks for their misinformation.
Let me say that we ain't playing them for free. No,
Hey,
no.
look, I ain't never say that. I said you can have it played on
You
here.
have it played.
Anyway, we gonna get into that and more in this episode. This is our Jordan episode, so we finna be all the way out here. Yeah.
Season 3.
Again, man, this episode 23, season 3, first episode of season 3. We got Fifth Child up in here in the building, in his building.
Hey, that's that, man. I love it.
I know.
I love the way it sounds.
You're right. In his building.
I love the way it sounds.
Which is the back, the Blessed and Anointed Center, the
Briarwood
Arts
Arts Center. Oh, it's blessed and anointed forever.
Yes.
Bitch ass constituents. I mean, whatever you want to call it, man.
I don't receive
We'll
that.
BAC
At all.
This for the hater though.
Did
That's
y'all
for
pray?
the
Y'all
hater.
prayed over the building and everything?
Definitely.
too?
Like, touched on every wall. And I need to do it every time I walk in here.
Mhm.
But I definitely did it when I first bought it before we had moved anything in.
Mhm.
I did that with my house, too.
Yeah. Well, listen, the prayers,
feel the difference.
The prayers of the righteous availeth much now. Yes, they do.
I'm serious. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just, and not even just about the people who live in it, but everybody who crosses that threshold into the doorway. Like, I just want a spirit of calm and a spirit of peace, in my space. So
Yeah, that's what's up. So talk a little bit more, really, man, just about the Briarwood Arts Academy, and, just like, what it is, what that vision is, and like how that even came about.
man, so I walk frequently in my neighborhood and pick up trash, and the gas station that's right next door to us right now, Briarwood Arts Center, has been abandoned for several months now, and trash was accumulating there. So I'm like, well, if I'm walking on my street, this is right across the street, I don't like looking at this either, so I'm gonna just pick up trash over here too. And so I was coming up here to pick up the trash, and I passed by this building, and it was the first time since I've been living in this neighborhood 5 years. And this property that we're in now has always been abandoned for as long as I've been here. And I finally saw a for lease sign out front, and so I've never, owned a brick and mortar business. I've been operating as under Fifth Child Music LLC for, you know, however many years, but I've never had a business, like I said, in an actual building. And so I was just calling just to see like what was up. You know, it's just sitting here, man, I just want to know what they're talking about. And so got in touch with the landlords and found out how much they were asking for it, and talked to my family, talked to my wife, and, you know, because really what the intent was is for this to be like a generational wealth type venture, you know, so not just for me, but like for the whole clique, you know what I'm saying? And that was the initial vision. And, you know, things take shape however they do. And so right now it's primarily being operated by my wife and I. But we just, like I said, it started with some ideas, things that we're already kind of into. And one of those situations where it's like, oh man, it would be cool if somebody in Jackson had this or did this. It's like, okay, well now this is the opportunity to do it. Yeah. You know? And as I shared the idea with people, they got excited, and seeing their excitement when this building was, like I said, even when the landlords bought it and it was just for lease, like when we did our initial walkthrough, they had been using this building for storage. So there was like old refrigerators and ovens and just, you know, just all building supplies just all littered around here. And so, but even in that disrepair, I still saw what it could be. You know what I'm saying? I saw it with fresh coats of paint and, you know, just a thriving space. And so that's what we're doing, just making it into a reality.
Man, that's super awesome.
So, like, let me ask you this. Like, I know, you know, a lot of times when you start ventures like this, people see it from this particular point right here. Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, did you always want to have a space or creative space of your own? Or was it more so like your matriculation as an artist, learning and going through certain situations and circumstances and growing in your art kind of led you to this point where, you know what, it might be cool to not just have a space but own it, like it's mine, you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah, to be totally honest, cause
like I wasn't sitting there. I ain't dreaming being no comedian. That wasn't my dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it chose me. It, like kind of like that's. I guess that's the premise of the question or whatever.
You know what's funny is I was very, very inspired by seeing how things played out with the Flamingo.
Interesting.
I was very inspired by that.
Which version?
I mean, with the most recent version, and just how, you know, how they created such a dope culture and did that in a space that was ultimately, you know, taken away from them. And so I'm not somebody that tries to reinvent the wheel. I'm not somebody that tries to, like, I don't see a need personally for me to open a record store when there's Offbeat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way I like to create and curate is filling a void. And I didn't see an opportunity for creatives who are still like in that, you know, it's not polished. We're still just working it out. We're still getting these ideas out, and we don't have to be afraid of not being perfect with it. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that this building and this endeavor represents is the people who are in that space, and it's like you don't have to have it all figured out, but this is a place where you can come and feel like a safe space to create freely, you know, without the judgment.
And we be needing it.
Yeah, man. Like even in the room that we're in right now, it's Cole's house number 2 is a production lab. You know, so it's not a recording studio where, you know, oh yeah, man, I want to come through and book, you know, 2 hours. It's not like that. It's for people who want to learn music production and want to learn about songwriting and music business and and even recording basics. You know, I want to be able to equip people with what they need to take it and then do something even bigger wherever they at.
So yeah, man, we were talking earlier I mean, we during our live, which you can also catch on YouTube, about like I know you're a producer, so essentially, you used to do beats for people, like that was your MO.
Still do.
You still do, but like that was like the goal, like now, just in your experience, and we were talking about now, you're seeing where you can make beats, but it ain't got to be for people. Like it can be for commercials, it can be for anything. Like what advice would you give, I guess, aspiring producers as far as like trying to get into that avenue is concerned, or just trying to learn where there's more than one avenue?
So I mention this book anytime I get the opportunity to. One of the best books I've read as far as my career in music was written by a guy named Peter Spellman, and the name of the book is The Self-Promoting Musician. And in that book, there's one line where he's like, rather than always thinking about where music is played, think about where music is used. You know what I'm saying? Like every commercial, every time you watch a movie, you watch a TV show, you walk in a department store, the whole music, for a company, when for a corporate, like there are so many ways and opportunities for musicians to provide that accompaniment to things that don't involve trying to pray that some rapper or some singer makes a hit song. And so because those hits for 99% of the people who are making music will never have a quote unquote hit song, but there are plenty of people who are making a livelihood out of creating music whose names you never hear, and so it's a very possible thing to make a living with it. So my advice is, one, keep creating, even the stuff that you think people wouldn't be into. There's an audience for almost everything.
Ain't no almost.
It
ain't no almost.
There's an
audience for everything.
Yeah, there's an audience for everything, and so that, and release instrumental albums. If you can't find no rappers that want to buy, release instrument. So we mentioned earlier, this TV show True South, TV, and the songs, I did not speak to them directly. I didn't say, hey, I want to put my music on. You know what? They, matter of fact, the guy from there made an Instagram post like, hey, we're doing this show based in Jackson, Mississippi. Does anybody, know we want to use local music for blah, blah, blah. And so some folks tagged me in it, and he did his own research. He didn't talk to me directly. Yeah. He went to my Instagram page and then saw the link in my bio that, here's how you listen to my music. He went to the most recent release, which is an album of all instrumentals.
Yep.
And he just started picking stuff from it. Like, hey, we want to use this. Send me an email through my email link on my Instagram. So being prepared and then responding. I can't say how important that is. Like, I can't stress enough how important it is, because there are a lot of super talented people.
Response. It's just like, if you don't want to do it, respond and decline gracefully or whatever. But please respond. Don't just leave folks hanging, because it shows it really shows lack of gratitude to them, and it shows lack of preparation.
It's not professional. It's not professional.
It's not professional
in any world of business.
And you, in a bunch of times, you would rather work with somebody who is a B that is prompt and responsive, and everything, than somebody who's super talented and A and is elusive.
Chick-fil-A is a prime example. It is, because they have impeccable customer service.
Really though.
The product might not be the best, but you can't beat the way that they serve and treat you, and it's a reason why people keep going back. And that just that's an analogy to use to how you respond and how you operate, your level of professionalism. You know that you're gonna always get that, if nothing else.
If we can be all the way real, I definitely believe I'm talented. I absolutely believe I'm talented.
You know that.
I believe that I know people who, in my opinion, are more technically skilled than me at rapping, that are more technically skilled than me at production, you know. But one thing that I think is another reason, besides just my talent, because I feel like I'm good at what I do, but another reason why I think that I do get the repeat business that I get is because I consider myself, I take pride in being easy to work with.
Man,
I take pride in being prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, and being prompt, being respectful of people's time. And it's like, so that this is a small city, man, and your name travels like that. Your reputation travels like that. Like, I don't think I would have gotten that call from Mississippi Symphony Orchestra and from Tania if the last time that we worked together, I wasn't prompt in, you know, returning this verse that she needed for this song.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, oh, you know what? I know somebody that can get it done. It's going to be good, and they won't take forever. And they reply to my text messages. And if I ask them for a W-9, you know, I don't have to, like, hunt them down to get it.
Yep.
You know, and you know, if I ask them about their PRO information, it's not going to be, you know, pulling teeth. They're going to be prepared. And so, like I said, that's what I try to instill in the younger producers that I interact with, and just younger artists in general. Just be on top of be about your business.
Yeah. One of my mentors always used to quote, like, every meeting, every week, like, make sure everything that you do represents you well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you got to be focused on the next thing that's coming, not the thing that you already got in the bag. Mm-hmm. Because, you know what I'm saying, that's just going to build your network. And I think that's a lot. I mean, even in just the professional side of what I'm doing, I can see where young folks don't have kind of that experience that we have had, where, you know, we had to network to kind of do a lot of things. Yeah. And you put them in rooms and they're just uncomfortable talking to people and really just trying, because it's so, you know, we're in a different kind of age of social media and stuff like that. So it's more kind of, you know, you typing to talk to people and stuff. But when you put in a room full of folks, like, you really got to make that connection and show yourself. Then it's like totally different.
And some people, you know, perceive it. Like, I think it is a lot in this generation. But some people perceive it as like, oh, I can't just be fake, and I don't like small talk. And I'm like, baby, I understand, but you gotta grow up.
Yeah.
You gotta grow up.
Big fact. You can't have no conversation with people. Like,
every conversation doesn't have to be a life-changing conversation. But the thing is, people don't always remember what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same thing that your mom tells you, you know, when you know, are 5 years old. Go out on the playground, make friends. Mm-hmm. You know, just be nice to people, be kind to people.
It don't
cost be present
nothing.
It don't cost nothing.
It don't cost nothing. But I think people we live in this day and age where transparency is damn near extinct. Mm-hmm. And people not showing up. When you show up, you can tell when people don't show up as their authentic selves. Mm-hmm. And when you have accepted who you are, you become comfortable with who you are and know who you are, you know, that a lot of times it can make people uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It can make people very uncomfortable. And so a lot of times folks who shy away, on the flip side of that, people who shy away from wanting to have conversations and stuff like that, they really just don't, you know, they haven't accepted who they really are. And there's this fear of exposing something when you just, hey man, you beautiful, you wonderfully made, just the way you are, flaws and all, just accept that. And then, you know, 'cause especially as artists, man, we don't always want to do this shit.
No,
always, the light switch don't always be on, but at the end of the day,
you never want to do that.
I'm a good shit. No, I can't say that, but like, man, you know what I'm saying? When it's time to work, it's time to work.
Right.
And at the end of the day, man, even if, you know, it ain't the best thing in the world, I might not feel the best in the world. Man, once the lights come on, it's time for me to be what I'm purposed to be. man, I'm all right. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I think that's what a lot of artists got to get to. Like, and on another flip, then I'm sure you can talk about that a lot too. How many times do you encounter artists that don't listen, or they think they know more than you because you live here, basically. Yeah.
You know what's funny is like I don't remember ever getting that energy from people. I don't
people
ever
call you OG now, which is hilarious.
Right.
That's shit to me.
So like I'm
Like,
I'm,
nigga,
I'm 36,
but
I've
you are,
really
though.
been doing it for like,
Yeah.
you know,
Since you was
17,
we
18
was somewhere.
years.
They was like,
15.
"Oh, that's the OG picture." I'm like, "This
OG.
OG." That nigga.
But and you know, I never feel like I give off that y'all want young whippersnappers don't know nothing. I don't give off that energy, you know what I'm saying? And
That angry old man.
yeah, I just don't give that off because I always want to. I remember being 17 years old and, you know, trying to figure out things and having people intentionally withhold information to where it's like, okay, well, I gotta figure it out. So you know what I did?
right.
I read a whole bunch of books. I read a whole bunch of books. I watched every interview I could find.
That's
I
crazy.
did
Like,
research
even
and
at
I
that
just
young
learned.
age, you
Yeah.
kind of had this maturity to be able to discern that, though.
Yeah.
Like to know, okay, these people don't want me to win, so that must mean I got something.
And I'm just the kind of person, I don't give too much energy to anything negative anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like how there are people who, and I see it all the time, like they'll make a post, like viral people, you know, like big Instagram stars. They'll make a post and 95% of the posts are positive, and then there are like 3 negative comments, and those are the ones that they respond to. Like, I'm not giving any attention or time to my quote unquote haters. Like, when I have all these people who love me, why would I give time and energy to my haters?
And I'm busy.
I'm super man.
I'm busy,
Bruh,
nigga. I'm busy.
bruh, I am
I ain't
so
even got
busy.
time. Like,
God,
I-
dog.
Like you work every day, so you still work
Every
every
day.
day. You running this business. You still got your 5th child brand that you running. And nigga, you a whole husband and finna be a daddy.
And then, and every one of those things is extremely time consuming. Every
yeah.
single one of those. Like I don't just go to work at work, but like, I mean, those of y'all know, I do help students get into college and find the money to pay for it. I'm the only person that teaches ACT prep for real, for office,
Well,
for the entire state.
you don't do that in
Once, right now I work for the company I work for, and so but yes, I'm not doing that at the same time. But no, eventually that is the plan when I'm able to work for Briarwood Arts Center full time. But even with the appointments, man, it's like I was told recently that I did a quarter of all the appointments that have been done in our entire organization since January.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. So like I said, it's not like I just go to work, but no, it's like I be working. for real, and then not just having a business, but starting a business from scratch. And not knowing everything that I need to do, and just kind of figuring it out from having conversations and talking to people and finding mentors, asking questions. So all this stuff none of this is easy.
Yep.
None of this is easy, but it's worth it.
Yep.
I really believe it's all worth it.
So, I guess you kind of talk about how big or important, because we were talking about networking. Part of that is just like, before you were doing any of this, you had heard, you were around people who were doing a lot of the stuff that you kind of got into, which spawned into, you know,
Mm-hmm.
where we are now. So like how huge were those influences for you, and being able to just tap into those resources as well to kind of get you to this point?
I took it as audacity. What I mean by that is like people who didn't ask for permission to do things, but just, you know, like I said, years ago when I was younger, we were always like, man, be real dope if somebody did such and such. Be real dope if somebody did such and such. And then it's like, okay, well now I'm in my 30s, like we supposed to be the people that are doing it.
Yeah.
So seeing what Keith is doing at Concrete, seeing what Cody's doing at Urban Foxes, like seeing what Venom has been doing for years at Offbeat, seeing what Ezra Brown not only did with, you know, with Seven, but also now with Soleil. Seeing how Tabi and them created this brand with Magnolia, you know, Magnolia Marketplace. Like there have been so many great examples of people who I highly respect because they made something out of nothing, you know, and there was no guarantee that it was ever going to work out, but they took that leap of faith. And I felt like I had been playing it safe for so long when I knew it had these connections, I knew it had these ideas, but everything that I've been doing before BAC, in my opinion, was playing it safe.
Okay. Do you also feel like it was preparing you at the same time?
I mean, yeah, obviously, just life, you know, was preparing me, and a couple of different factors, like having my student loans forgiven, like $55,000 wiped clean. You know, it's like okay. You know,
you trying to start a business? That's a blessing.
It's a whole blessing. Being blessed to be a part of the Live Impact Create, you know, initiative. We were granted money from the Sardina Foundation. Recently paying my car off, you know, and then having
there's so much money out there for Mississippi artists that people just don't even know about.
Man, what?
It's just free money out there.
And like I said,
but that goes back to what you said about being ready, being prepared. Because like you can have all the talent in the world, but there's another side to it too. You got to have your stuff together when you go.
Man, today, I've already, like, Mississippi Arts Commission, you know, reaching out like, hey, because I had gotten on the artist roster by, guess what, submitting the application, giving them everything that they asked for, and then opportunities already spawned from that, and then they saw that, okay, not only are you responding to these opportunities, but you're doing it like consistently, and then you're delivering once you actually, you know, get the opportunity. And so for example, and I'll share this with y'all, from being on the artist roster, I got a random email one day from an elementary school in Meridian, and they were like, hey, we see that you do, you know, songwriting workshops for kids, and we want you to come do one at our school. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, we're gonna apply for a grant from, you know, from such and such for you to come do it. And I was like, okay. And the amount of money was more than I had ever made from performing. So I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And so then that happened. And then guess what is in every city? Multiple elementary schools. So, you know, those say, hey, I heard you came and did such and such at so-and-so school. We want you to come to our school.
And the whole district want you there. You see what I'm saying?
I got another email today, like from a school I haven't worked at before, but they heard about it. They heard, okay, this guy's professional. Yeah. He, you know, this is what he does with the kids. The kids really enjoy it. And so then it comes to the point where they're like, okay, so how much you want? Like, just tell us, like, name your price.
Because again, it's something that they've never done before, so they don't know what to ask for. And so it's twofold. Now you've done this so much to a point where you know your worth, and it's just letting your gift make room for you.
That's right. And I'm being obedient. You know, I'm being obedient.
That's finger snaps.
Because when God He's anointed me with talent, and when He creates these opportunities, it's like I don't take that lightly. I go into every situation like this is this is an opportunity to not only share your message and represent you, and I pray that this that everything that comes from this brings glory and honor to your name and not mine. You know, and going to, and I say that same prayer before every performance. If you've ever been to a show and seen me perform, like right before I go up, you'll see me take a knee somewhere, like go off to myself, take a knee, and that's what I'm doing. Just like, this isn't about me, it's about you, you know. So as far as these words coming out my mouth, everything, like, we're not called to be impressive. We're called to be obedient. And that show that you thought, you know, wasn't your best, or the crowd didn't have the response that you might have wanted to, or wasn't as big of a crowd as you wanted, and that one interaction, there's somebody in there that needed to hear exactly what you had to say, and they're going to remember how you made them feel that night.
Yeah.
You know? So, for real, that's what it is.
Ain't nothing else to say after you.
Let
Said
me
the
tell you,
prayer.
I mean, I feel like I got a few dollars that I can give
You didn't
to
say you kneeling and praying.
the
ain't
Church
nothing
of
else to say
Fifth Child
after
in
that.
Christ. I know. Hey, Bishop Fifth Child, you on it today. I'm blessed. So, for real, so you obviously you got all these amazing things that you're doing, or that you've done and that you're doing, or whatever. How I feel that, you know, how does it feel to be in this process of becoming a father?
Man.
Because it's kind of like, I'm pretty sure you always knew but your dynamic, your family dynamic. You knew at some point, okay, I desire to be a husband. I know that's something that I'm gonna be a provider, all this other stuff. But like, you know, y'all didn't plan this.
No. No, we did not.
You ain't not playing.
No, we did not.
Well, yeah, well, you wasn't doing nothing and not playing it either. But, you know,
No, we
you
did not plan
married.
it.
But yeah, that's right. But yeah, like, how does that, man? Yeah, talk about that. How does that feel? Like, man, is that kind of like why you going hammer right now? Because that's on the way, or not to say that you hadn't always worked hard and that you hadn't always done that, but I feel like, just from the outside looking in, I feel like you have kicked it into a whole nother gear. Yeah.
So, a good friend of mine, shout out to Justin Sebring, directed me to a book that I thought I had heard of before, but I never really checked out. But a guy named Simon Sinek, who I've read a lot of books from him, but the one that Justin recently put me on to was called The Infinite Game. And basically the concept behind it is, when people do things to win, you know, they're playing the finite game. But it's like, as a basketball player, if you're you can win a game, but there is no first place in basketball, because guess what happens is another season is coming after that. And if you go into it with the focus of like, there is a finish line, those people often aren't as ultimately successful, because you have a finite goalpost. You know what I'm saying? But in playing the infinite game, the goal is to continue to make sure the game continues and that it perpetuates. And so I know I'm all over the place with this right now, but I've even been rewatching The Wire recently for the I don't know how many time, and the story is so good.
Something new every time you watch it, though.
And the thing is like, they're all playing the infinite game. It's like, and they make it very clear, like, yeah, what's gonna happen is this dope boy goes to jail or whatever happens, and guess what? Somebody else is coming in his spot. Like, it's a never ending thing. We as creatives, it's like, you do a great show somewhere, and it's not like that's the end. That's what you do this for, to have that one show and then be done. No, it's like, it's an ongoing process. It's an ongoing journey. Right. Kevin Hart is still writing jokes. Still, it's like, what else could you do at this point? And it's like, it's all about the journey, not about a finish line. And so in my concept of fatherhood, Because this is something that I've obviously thought a lot about throughout my life, and still at the same time feel the least prepared for. Because in my mind, up until this point, I had been thinking like, okay, well, yeah, if you do all these things right, then your child will turn out great. But that's not necessarily the case. You know, it's like every conversation, every interaction, everything that I do in front of him that he sees me do feeds into shaping him and molding him into a great person. But then there's still a generation that comes after that. Yeah. Prayerfully, you know, and after that. So I think about the work that I do now as far as business and life and how I carry myself as all part of the journey.
Yeah, I talked to Jason a lot about that. Shout out to Jason Thompson, Fahrenheit Creative Group. Because James, his son, now 2, and like, he also talks a lot about how, like, they did all of this prep, and then, like, none of it. They ain't used none of the prep, because nothing prepares you for that.
Right.
Like, because it's just like dealing with a different personality that's going to grow and change day by day. Like, you know, you figuring out who this little person is and how they work and operate. And on the flip side, I've seen it change his views work-wise as well. Even how he deals with his kid, which takes a whole lot of patience, which is translated over into being a business owner and things of that nature, and seeing things from a different view because you're a parent now.
Right.
As opposed to before he was here, I could be here till 7, 8 o'clock, knocking stuff out. Like, now, I got to be out of here 5:30. Or, like, you have a lot more empathy for mothers who have, you know, like, it's refreshing to see, like, just how that correlates.
Yeah.
And then how people evolve and change, and it, I can foresee that happening.
Now, and that is a conversation I did have with my wife the other day, that what I am interested to see is the person that I become once he is here. Because it's like, if y'all thought I was going hard then, you know, when just the thought of him, but then, like, actually seeing him in the flesh and knowing that, like, I gotta go out and kill something every day to bring it home and put it on the table, you know? And like, when that's my mindset, I don't even know what that Stephen or that fifth child is like. Yeah. You know? But I'm a very, very focused person. When I lock in on something, and whether it's creative, whether it's whatever, you know, that's just the nature of who I am as a person. And so when I have that kind of living being inspiring me, you know, I don't know what my son's gonna turn me into. Like, turn me into a beast, for real.
Shit. Or you gonna weigh your ass out?
One of the two, maybe both.
The two,
you know,
the two for sure. Get in shape, he gonna be running.
Look, I need to get in shape. So I was thinking about, man, I can't wait till he has me outside in the yard and, like, playing, throwing the football.
You like, we gonna get it. You grabbing your shorts like Jordan.
Hold tight, little fella. Let's take a break. Let's take a break.
I just want him to feel like the world is his. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. So we can probably end here.
I think this is a great place to end. Listen, y'all, put your hand together. Put your hand together, y'all. We thank you, Mrs. Steve Brown, a.k.a. Fifth Child. Amen. A.k.a. Let Me Touch the Hem of Your Life. A.k.a. the owner of Blessed and Anointed Center.
Yeah, so Fifth Child, tell the people how they tap in with you.
They can follow me. Everything is at Fifth Child Music. Even the website, fifthchildmusic.com. The number 5 TH Child Music. That's called linear marketing. Making sure everything is the same.
Absolutely.
Make people easy to find you. And Briarwood Arts Center.
Yes.
At Briarwood Art Center.
Yep.
By the time you hear this, hopefully BriarwoodArtCenter.com.
Yeah. It's a group page on Facebook you can join. And
Yes.
It's also an Instagram page.
And I really encourage them to join the mailing list because, like I said, there's already a bunch of dope stuff happening right now, including like the trunk or treat that we did at the end of October, the shoe painting workshop that we're doing this coming Saturday. It's a lot of great stuff happening. And if you're interested in curating your own event and just need a space to do it, you know, that's what this space is for. So, yeah, reach me that way.
That's awesome, man.
That's amazing.
You can also tell people what you got coming up.
So I got a lot of stuff coming up. I got the short version. The short version. So, this Thursday, so the day this episode airs, I have a show at with Thacker Mountain Radio in Oxford at the Lyric. That's the name of the venue. And then I got another joint coming up in Oxford on December 11th called Punk Flea Market.
Okay.
Definitely go listen to Antoine D'Amour. My instrumental album that was released in July, and still got vinyl of the latest album, Untitled. I want to shoot some videos and stuff too, but right now I'm also just working on some other artists' music,
Okay.
as well. So yeah, mixing stuff, producing stuff, getting this music business thing popping, all that.
Yeah, you all the way out here. We ain't put the music.
Vibe control.
We ain't put the music on.
Oh, you know I got the.
It's all
I
good.
put the music
Yeah,
on.
man. We got a lot of good stuff coming up with the Vibe Controls. We will be recording this Wednesday, Third Coast Radio, MPV. Shout out to Kamikaze and all them folks for locking that in. We will be in Greenville Black Friday. We got an event going on there, so y'all come check out the Vibe Controls. We're gonna be in there. My brother gonna be in the Delta the night after. I let him tell you that. We get over there to him. Thank y'all for getting these sweatshirts. We appreciate that. Sweatshirts and hoodies, they should be delivered. We got another drop coming on Black Friday. We got some more stuff that we cooking up, but we can't really talk about it just yet. But it's gonna be real nice. 2023 is looking really good for the brand. So yeah, that's what's going on. Merc, what you got coming up?
Oh yeah, just some of the same stuff you named. Obviously Wednesday we are with Third Coast Radio, so y'all check that out when that drops. I got a magazine feature coming up. I just finished up. Yeah, you'll see that when it comes out. So that's coming. Still, we got some new episodes coming with the Young Gifted and the Power podcast as well too. So we holding that down as well. Shout out to my homie Nardo Blacktastic. His special is coming out December 18th, so we getting primed for that as well too. Super excited for
It doesn't
him.
make some intro music for him.
Yeah, I know. The chili done did it.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, 'cause it done jumped. It done got down jumped out here. So yeah, I said, okay, 50 remix God and then bitch, don't fucking with it. So Indianola, yeah, I'm out here. Actually, you can catch both of us, man. Nardo is there on the 25th. I probably won't be there for that because I'm gonna be at the Flame and Skillet, drunk as a skunk. And then the Saturday night, I'll be there with Stephanie Luckett, man. We out there with, shout out to Tanya Sims, man. Just always coming through and all that good stuff. Some really dope stuff happening in 2023 as well, too. On the individual and collective side, we got, the tour is going to be going up a notch next year. And so we super excited about that. Super excited about the response that we've gotten. And it's really led to a bunch of amazing opportunities for all of us, like I said, individually and collectively. And I think 2023 it'll be 10 years in the game, stand-up comedy. So it's time for that special to drop.
Hey.
So yeah, we're gonna get out here and make it happen. So yeah, we about to make it. Man, listen, 2023 is up. If you if you in the circle, you attached in any way, shape, or form. It's ain't nothing but blessings and abundance over here. If you ain't got nothing to do with that, then man, you got to get the fuck on from around here. Real shit. So there it is.
Right after blessings and abundance.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's what's up, man. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention McFly male accessory line coming in 2023.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What? Bow ties and things?
Fuck no.
Hey, you should have dropped bow tie off the Idlewild soundtrack. Bow tie.
No.
Nah, nigga, hell no.
Nah,
I hate bow ties.
We talking about just some necklaces, wrist,
Okay.
wrist accessories, maybe some rings. Just
Okay.
it's difficult for dudes to find accessories when they trying to accessorize. So I've been working with one of my good friends. It's gonna be all good. So yeah.
Oh yeah, man. I'm thinking me a cocky McFly herringbone.
Hey, that nigga get herringbones. I'm getting one. I want one. I want that big thick too. I don't want it to choke me, but I do want it like right here on the chest bone right there. Oh, I want one.
All right, that ain't how this was supposed to go. That ain't how this was supposed to go, man.
Let me make sure I keep this part shaved so I can monitor. That motherfucker, nigga, we out here.
Man, shout out to my fans of the cold weather that separate the weak from the fashionable. Y'all love to put on a t-shirt and some shorts. You put on some clothes now. And buy your kids a damn coat.
Let me tell you, speaking of cold, I just want to thank all the ladies out there for starting to wear your 4-letter tights. You bless me abundantly.
Some of you.
Thank you. Isn't it?
And all of you.
Everybody, look, I went to lunch today, man, at Chai. When I tell you, every woman in there had on a bodysuit. Every single one. Bodysuit and a long sweater. And some Uggs. That's they.
Oh my God.
That's
The uniform.
Look, he hated it. They just
Don't get me started.
the bodysuit, man, that long sweater and Uggs, it just be flowing and everything. I don't know if it's a sale going on, Jack. There's a lot of BBLs going on around here, man.
All right, so we gonna go ahead and close on that. Again, thank y'all so much for listening. Before we go, we like to leave y'all with a little nugget, a little something inspirational. Take you on through the day, through the hour, the minute, whenever you live.
Reverend Blessings.
And we got our good friend, Reverend Deacon Pastor Bishop, fifth child, who's gonna take us on now with some inspiration.
Love God, love each other. It does not have to be more complicated than that.
Man,
It does not have to be more complicated.
I
than
wish
that.
they could see your face when you said it.
Love
just
God,
like, man.
love each other. For real, man.
It's just that simple, bro.
We're all going through something, we all dealing with something, man. And like I almost feel like Tabitha Brown sometimes. It's like, even if you not happy, don't go ruining nobody else's day. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, babies.
See, yeah, man. Just it doesn't have to be that complicated, and you can choose love every day. So that's what I live by.
That's hot, man. We appreciate you, bro. Give it up again.
Deeper. Now listen, you the one gonna put the claps on. Right. They got to be. You got to clap it up. Because they're gonna tell me how you really feel about you.
Shoot.
We might not be having no damn episode for the class. That's what it is. Yeah, man. Again, check us out, man. On Spotify, SoundCloud.
Where is the music?
He gonna put it on there.
I didn't want to,
Hello, God damn it.
I was just saying, I ain't know, man. He said he was gonna talk. I ain't hear that before.
Yeah, man. Again, we are on Spotify, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Y'all check us out. Check it out. You can check out seasons 1 and 2. You can check out the new episode as well. You can hit us up at the Vibe Controllers on Instagram, and we have a Facebook group as well. You just click on those links, and it will take you to the Cocky McFly, the Merc B. Williams, and anything else that we are attached to. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's it. And the whole time we've been recording the episode, we've been playing the goddamn Temptation movie. This shit is terrible, man.
Boy, Dave Reverend got on that
Dave
narcotic,
Pitt,
man.
He on that crack, man.
Look at nigga lip white.
He finna punch holes in the mouth.
Powder donut now, man.
because he had.
Hey man.
But anyway,
yeah.
man, we appreciate y'all, Merc.
Man, y'all already know what it is, man. Y'all stay free. Y'all share that shit.
All right, man. Two things that mean peace to the sag, to chilling, and Steve, you already know what you do.
Out here.
You motherfucking right.
Why I was on the rap.
I was on the rap.
Y'all gonna be begging me to leave.
And I refuse.
I refuse to let you
go.
That nigga on crack.